The Charleston Music Hall has been a staple here in the Charleston community, from visual arts to music. And now, the Music Hall is looking to its future. I speak exclusively with the Executive Director, Charles Carmody, for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Charles Carmody.
Hello.
It's so good to see you, man.
Nice to see you.
You know, I reached out to you via email for an interview for Quintin's Close-Ups a couple of weeks ago. And then we actually met here at the Charleston Music Hall for TED Talks.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot has been going on with the Charleston Music Hall since then. Obviously, you're the executive director here. What's new and what's now here at the Charleston Music Hall?
Oh, so much new, so much here. We're doing about 250 events a year now. So I've been here for 7 years. I started in 2012, and we went from it was a rental-only facility doing 20 to 30 events a year to being a full in-house promotions, productions, and rental facility doing 250 events a year. So we're doing everything from film to dance to major concerts. This week alone, we'll have everything from tonight. We're showing a film. We have a ballet in here on Saturday. We have Shaky Graves and DREs coming up. Milk Carton Kids tomorrow. So just trying to keep the doors open to the community and to artists, and trying to produce some quality stuff.
You talk about, obviously, the community. What is it like for you as the executive director to serve this community through arts and music and visual arts?
It's beautiful. I think the arts and music can change a city in that it brings people together, it presents ideas, and it's just a great meeting ground for people to come together and experience something together. So it's something that I'm really passionate about. I mean, that's what I love so much about it, is just the way that people do come together through art, and how it can change the way people think, change the way people behave, and also change the way people treat each other.
And I know that just a few seconds ago you talked about a couple of events that are happening today. I know that the Charleston Music Hall will present Cruel Intentions, and it's actually its 20th anniversary screening.
Yes.
When you look back to that 20 years ago to now, what's plays in your mind?
Well, it definitely, it's very interesting to see that movie now, because there's a lot going on in that as far as misogyny and male versus female and this whole manipulative form, and I think we've come a long way in those 20 years. So I think it's interesting to go back and kind of look at that movie through our current lens and see how much we've grown and see how much has changed since then.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And I know, I don't know if it's tonight or last night, but obviously you're giving people a last chance to catch up on this year's BNFF Mountain Film Tour.
Absolutely. That was Saturday and Sunday, so that was a lot of fun. Saturday sold out. It's adventure films. So it's pretty cool. Three hours of just different programming of mountain climbing and all these different kinds of adventure sports, but with a lot of really neat stories woven into them. Yeah.
You talk about stories. Obviously, let's talk about the music hall and its story.
Yeah.
This particular building has a lot of significant history.
Pretty cool. It was built in 1850 as a train station, and the Best Friend trains actually across the street used to run in and out, and the stage we're sitting on is the turntable that would turn the train and shoot it back out. I know, really cool. And the tracks are still over by like the music farm and the visitor. Those were the original tracks where they came in. So 1850, 1886, I believe, we had a pretty bad earthquake in town, and it made the roof fall in on itself. It was then turned into a bag manufacturing plant, and then it was a warehouse for many, many years. And then finally, in 1994, Bennett Hoffer Company came in and built this amazing facility. And it's I started in 2012, so it's been a great run. Yeah.
You say 2012. What is the biggest difference between 2012 and now when you think of arts, music, and visual arts in Charleston?
I think the biggest thing is diversity. I think we still have a long, long way to go, but I do think we're finally starting to see a diverse group of artists and musicians nationally and locally be presenting some amazing stuff. I still think there's a long way to go as far as people coming out to different shows they might not know, and also getting that talent to come to Charleston. But it's been pretty cool to see the scene change in a positive way to include more people.
Obviously, you just talked about national and local artists coming here to Charleston Music Hall. Which artist relates to you the most?
Oh, good question. I think in the last year, one of the most important shows we've had was Benjamin Starr's album release show.
Oh yeah.
In that it was a live recording of a hip hop album, which I've never seen done, and also he sold out this space, which a hip hop artist had never done before ever. So it also was just a beautiful night of very diverse patrons, an amazing concert, and then an amazing product coming out of that concert. So that's my goal, is for us to be helping artists to create and to reach an audience that they might not normally reach, and to have this experience. So that was one of the more important shows for me in the last year.
And I know in your Facebook page, you read this Music Hall writes this: the Charleston Music Hall seeks to set a national standard for ambitious programming, engagement with its audience, and leadership within the community in which resides, providing a vital artistic resource for the people of Charleston and the region. What's that national standard?
National standard, that's I think that can vary from human to human, but I think for us, we want to be presenting quality acts and quality performances. We don't just want to be doing covers or tribute shows every night, or just the typical run-of-the-mill stuff. We do want to mix it up and try and bring some different acts into town, be it the female Nirmala Raja Soccer, the female sitar player, or all the way to bluegrass, to country, all across the spectrum. We want it to be up to par with what you'd see in your major metropolises, New York,
Right.
Atlanta, all that stuff. We want to, there's no reason we can't be presenting the same quality stuff there and there.
And I know earlier you talked about diversity. You also said this quote: the Music Hall seeks to build a better conversation and relationship between artists and audience, and aspires to the higher levels of artistic achievement. Where should the conversation about arts and diversity go next?
I think it needs to go to, on the venue standpoint, how can we get more diverse artists in? And on the patron standpoint, how can we support diverse acts? We need to be having that conversation of, what does the community want to see? What do they want to attend? Because for us, we're a for-profit. We're not a nonprofit, so if we don't sell tickets, we will lose. We'll lose money. So it can be a hard balancing act.
Sure.
To try and find the acts that people will actually come out to. So we are an open book as far as wanting to always have that conversation with the community of, who do you want to see? What events do you want to attend? What do you think of that act? How can we make what we're doing better? I think that's important, is to be transparent and to be open with the artists and with the community as far as what do y'all want to see? Because we're here to serve you ultimately. If the community doesn't come out, then we're not serving anybody.
And obviously, Charleston is growing.
Yes.
When you think of Charleston as a whole, what goes to your mind?
I've been here 30 years, born and raised, and I've seen so many changes in those 30 years. But I know it's changing quickly and it's growing fast, but I do see more good than bad in that. I really do. I do, yes, there's gentrification. Yes, there's some serious divides between rich and poor. But I also see some amazing people coming into the city who are building it up, bringing new ideas. And, from when I was a kid till now, I just see a lot more interaction and collaboration between different classes, different races, different people, different mindsets in the city, which I think is really important. And it's important for us going forward, is we're all in this together. The peninsula is only so big. I mean, there's we're only so far to go. So we all have to work together to, not only make this a great place to visit, but a great place to live. And I think that's going to be the big struggle in the next decade. Is, all right, people are coming. We've got, money's coming in through tourism. It's great. But how do we make this a great place for locals? How do we allow artists the ability to afford to live on the peninsula? and create here. Because if we push the artists out, then the soul of the city goes with it, in my opinion. So,
And obviously, you talked earlier about how you want to help the music hall grow. What will the Charleston Music Hall look like in 5 to 10 years in your mind?
oh, I hope it's standing strong. I hope we are still, presenting an array of acts, and I hope we're still just trying to set that mission you stated earlier. I mean, I think we're on track to continue to grow something that, can stay strong in the community for a long time. And I hope we're still following these same goals and really just trying to present the best stuff we can.
And when you take off your executive director hat and the music hat, who is Charles Carmody?
Music lover through and through. My passion for the arts and music. I mean, that's all I can think about. That's all I love. I mean, I love doing a lot of things, but that at the end of the day, that's what drives me. And I love the city. I live down near Hampton Park, and I just love the city. The entrepreneurial spirit of the city and the humans in the city are really important to me. So I ultimately I'm here for Charleston. I want to just see the city be the best it can be.
That's so great to hear.
Yeah. I'm in it to win it.
Yeah, exactly right. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's
Yeah.
good.
Well, Charles Carmody, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
You too.